What happened to the Maya civilization? Deep inside the jungles of Central America, hidden beneath vines, roots, and centuries of silence, there are cities made of stone. Massive temples rise above the trees, empty plazas sit under the burning sun. Carved faces stare from broken walls, as if they are still guarding secrets from another age. These places were not built by a small tribe. They were built by one of the most brilliant civilizations in the ancient world. The Maya studied the stars. They created complex calendars. They built towering pyramids without modern machines. They developed writing, mathematics, trade networks, cities, rulers, rituals, and a deep understanding of time. And then, something strange happened. Many of their greatest cities were abandoned. The temples fell silent. The roads became empty. The jungle slowly swallowed the stone. For centuries, people asked the same question. Why did the Maya civilization suddenly disappear? Today, Chrono follows the clues hidden in ancient ruins, dry lakes, broken monuments, and forgotten cities, to uncover the truth behind one of history's greatest mysteries. But before we begin, there is one important thing to understand. The Maya did not completely vanish. Millions of Maya descendants still live today, especially in Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and nearby regions. Their languages, traditions, and culture continue. So the real mystery is not whether the Maya disappeared from the earth. The real mystery is this: why did so many of their powerful ancient cities collapse? To answer that, Chrono must travel back more than 1,000 years. At the height of their power, the Maya world was not one single empire like Rome. Instead, it was a network of powerful city-states. Each city had its own rulers, temples, priests, warriors, farmers, traders, and artists. Some cities were enormous. They had wide plazas, tall pyramids, stone monuments, ball courts, palaces, and roads connecting one sacred place to another. From the outside, the Maya world looked strong, but inside, the pressure was growing. Chrono first walks through a thriving Maya marketplace. There are baskets of corn, beans, squash, cacao, pottery, jade, feathers, and cloth. Farmers bring food from the fields. Traders carry goods from distant lands. Scribes record important events. Priests watch the sky. Rulers stand above the people on temple platforms. This was a civilization full of knowledge and order. The Maya understood the movement of the sun, moon, Venus, and stars. They built observatories and aligned buildings with astronomical events. Their calendars were incredibly advanced. Their writing system recorded royal histories, wars, rituals, and important dates. Chrono raises his magnifying glass to a carved stone calendar. At first, everything seems impossible to destroy, but history often changes slowly before it suddenly breaks. The first clue is water. In the tropical jungle, it is easy to imagine endless rain. Green trees, thick vines, humid air, and rivers hidden under the leaves. But many Maya cities depended on carefully managed water systems. They collected rainwater. They stored water in reservoirs. They built canals and used natural sinkholes where possible. If the rains came on time, life continued. But if the rains failed, the cities were in danger. Chrono steps into a dry field. The corn is dying. The soil is cracked. The sun burns above the temple. A once full reservoir has turned into mud. For the Maya, corn was more than food. It was life. It was connected to their stories, their rituals, and their survival. When crops failed, people became hungry. When people became hungry, rulers lost trust. And when rulers lost trust, cities became unstable. Scientists studying lake sediments and other environmental clues have found evidence that parts of the Maya world faced serious droughts during the period when many cities declined. One dry year would be painful. Several dry years would be dangerous. But repeated droughts over generations could be devastating. Chrono looks at the empty water reservoir and realizes something important. A great civilization does not need one disaster to collapse. Sometimes it takes pressure after pressure, year after year, until the system can no longer hold. But drought alone does not explain everything. So Chrono follows the next clue: war. The Maya world was filled with proud and powerful city-states. These cities competed for land, trade routes, tribute, influence, and control. Some rulers formed alliances, others became rivals. Stone monuments show captured kings, defeated enemies, and political struggles. Chrono stands between two city banners as dark clouds gather overhead. At first, war may have been a tool for power and prestige. But as resources became scarce, conflict likely became more dangerous. Imagine a city suffering from drought. Food is low, water is low. Some rulers formed alliances, others became rivals. Stone monuments show captured kings, defeated enemies, and political struggles. Chrono stands between two city banners as dark clouds gather overhead. At first, war may have been a tool for power and prestige, but as resources became scarce, conflict became more dangerous. Imagine a city suffering from drought. Food is low, water is low. People are worried. Now imagine a rival city attacking. Fields are burned, trade routes are blocked. Workers leave the farms, families flee the city. The problem grows worse. Chrono hides behind a broken stone wall, while warriors move in the distance. There was no single battle that destroyed the Maya world, but constant conflict could weaken city after city. It could damage trust, it could interrupt farming, it could force people to move, and it could turn a difficult drought into a true collapse. Then Chrono finds another clue: population pressure. At their peak, many Maya cities supported large populations. More people meant more workers, more builders, more farmers, more soldiers, and more power. But more people also meant more mouths to feed. Chrono walks past crowded fields near the jungle edge. Trees have been cut down to create farmland. Hillsides are used for crops. The city grows larger, the temples rise higher. But the land is being pushed harder and harder. If the environment is stable, the system may survive. But if drought hits, overpopulation becomes a serious problem. A city that needs huge amounts of food cannot easily survive failed harvests. A ruler who promises protection cannot easily explain empty storage rooms. A priest who performs rituals for rain cannot easily answer when the sky remains dry. Chrono watches the busy marketplace slowly change. The baskets become emptier, the faces become worried, the roads become quieter. The sound of a great city begins to fade. But there is still another piece of the puzzle: politics. Maya kings were not just political leaders, they were sacred rulers. They connected the people to the gods, the calendar, the stars, and the order of the universe. Their power depended on victory, on ceremony, on food, on rain, and on the belief that they could maintain balance. But what happens when the rains fail? What happens when wars are lost? What happens when hunger spreads? People begin to question the ruler. Chrono steps into an abandoned royal court. The throne is empty. The stone floor is cracked. The palace that once showed power now feels like a warning. If people stopped believing in their rulers, the political system could collapse from within. Not everywhere at once, not in one dramatic moment, but city by city, region by region. People may have left the great centers and moved to smaller communities. Some moved to safer areas. Some searched for better water. Some followed food. Some simply walked away from cities that could no longer protect them. This is why the phrase, "the Maya disappeared," can be misleading. The people did not simply vanish. Many cities were abandoned. But the people moved, adapted, and survived. Chrono follows footprints leading away from a silent city gate. Families carry baskets. Workers leave behind stone buildings. The jungle waits, and slowly the ruins begin to change. Roofs collapse, vines grow through doorways, trees split stone apart. Rain falls on empty plazas, birds nest where people once gathered. The ancient city becomes a ghost of itself. Years pass, then decades, then centuries. The jungle covers the roads. Temples become green mountains. Carved stones disappear beneath roots and leaves. To later explorers, it looked like an entire civilization had vanished overnight. But Chrono knows the truth is more complex. History rarely ends like a lightning strike. More often, it fades like a fire losing oxygen. The Maya collapse was not one single event. It was a chain reaction. Drought made food and water harder to find. Food shortages created stress. Stress weakened rulers. Weak rulers faced political unrest. City-states fought each other. War made survival harder. People moved away. Cities lost workers. Temples lost purpose. Roads fell silent. And the jungle took back the stone. But the mystery does not end there. Modern archaeologists have discovered that the Maya world was even larger and more complex than people once imagined. Using modern technology, researchers have found hidden structures beneath the jungle canopy. Roads, platforms, walls, terraces, settlements. Entire networks that were invisible for centuries. Chrono looks at a glowing map where hidden cities appear beneath the trees. This discovery makes the collapse even more fascinating. Because the Maya were not simple, they were not weak, they were not primitive. They were advanced, organized, creative, and powerful. And that is exactly why. If such a brilliant civilization could decline, what does that teach us? Chrono studies the clues one last time. Drought, war, overpopulation, political pressure, environmental stress, migration. No single clue solves the mystery alone, but together they reveal the truth. The Maya civilization did not suddenly disappear because of one mysterious curse. It declined because many problems came together at the wrong time. A changing climate, growing cities, rival leaders, food shortages, loss of trust, and the fragile balance between people and nature. Chrono now walks through a modern village. The mood changes, because this story is not only about ruins, it is also about survival. Modern Maya communities still exist today. Their languages are still spoken. Their traditions are still practiced. Their art, clothing, food, stories, and identity continue. The ancient cities may have changed. The great stone temples may have fallen silent, but the Maya people never truly vanished. This is the part of the story many people forget. When we look at abandoned ruins, we often think only about collapse. But history is not only about what was lost, it is also about what remained. Chrono stands beside a modern child looking at ancient Maya ruins. Past and present meet in the same place. The stones tell one story, the living people tell another, and together they reveal the real answer. The Maya mystery is not the story of a civilization disappearing into nothing. It is the story of great cities rising, struggling, changing, and being abandoned, while the people continued forward. So why did the Maya civilization suddenly disappear? The answer is simple. It did not happen suddenly, and they did not fully disappear. Many great Maya cities declined because of drought, war, political instability, environmental pressure, and social stress. But the Maya people adapted. They moved. They survived. They carried their culture into the future. Chrono stands on top of a ruined pyramid at sunset. The jungle glows gold. His red scarf moves in the wind. Below him, the abandoned city is quiet, but it is no longer just a mystery. It is a warning. Even the strongest societies depend on balance: water, food, trust, leadership, nature, community. When that balance breaks, even great cities can fall. But people are not only defined by collapse, they are also defined by survival. The Maya built cities that amazed the world. They studied the stars with incredible skill. They carved their history into stone. They created knowledge that still fascinates us today. And although many of their ancient cities were abandoned, their legacy did not end. It lives on in language, in culture, in memory, in descendants, and in the ruins that still rise above the jungle. Chrono raises his magnifying glass one last time. Inside the glass, the reflection shows both an ancient pyramid and modern Maya people. The message is clear. The Maya did not truly vanish. Their cities changed. Their power shifted. Their temples fell silent. But their people remained. And maybe that is why this mystery is so powerful. Because history is not always about what disappears. Sometimes it is about what survives. As the sun sets behind the pyramid, Chrono turns away from the ruins. But before he leaves, he notices something on the ground. A small carved stone. A strange symbol points toward another lost civilization. Chrono picks it up and looks toward the horizon. The Maya mystery has ended, but history has many more secrets waiting to be uncovered, and the next one may be even stranger. If this mystery made you think, leave a like to help more people discover the hidden stories of history. And tell us in the comments, what do you think caused the Maya cities to collapse? Was it drought, war, politics, or all of them together? Chrono will be reading the clues with you, and if you want to follow the next lost civilization, subscribe to History Unfolded. Because every ancient ruin has a secret, every forgotten empire has a warning, and every mystery is waiting to be unfolded.